Salutations, Victorians, and welcome to the Stream of Blood and tonight's presentation of the Neptune Society, an ongoing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition campaign set in the Gaslight era. Tonight's adventure takes place in 1863. It's part 3 of our series, and the final part, the conclusion of Dreams in Bedlam. Our players have had strange dreams. They've entered Bedlam Asylum and manhandled some people quite vociferously. Then they got sent into an underground cavern full of giants that's faces open vertically. It's been a weird one, to put it briefly. We're so happy that you are all here to join us tonight. I saw Nightcat, not a bot, in the chat said, we can't wait to find out where Jackie Kashian is streaming from tonight. Look, she's a world traveler. I mean, maybe not right this moment, but last time we saw her, she was somewhere at a venue, and she is the hardest working lady in showbiz. So I'm excited to see where she's streaming from tonight, too. I think it might be her house. What can I tell you? What should I should mention just a couple quick Stream of Blood things before we get started with tonight's adventure. One is that normally Vampires of Pittsburgh, our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game, is every Sunday at 2 p.m. right now, so that we can play with the incredible Abubakar Salim from Raised by Wolves, who is all the way in the United Kingdoms when we play. Yes, that's right. Our stream gets genuine British people to play with us. However, this week, because of crazy work schedules among our cast and crew, we are going to be streaming at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. 2 p.m. on Tuesday, so make sure you mark that in your calendar. There's been a slight day change. It'll still be at 2 p.m. If you're at work, who are you kidding? You're working from home. 2 p.m.'s right after lunch. That's exactly the time you're going to want to go ahead and tune in to Vampires of Pittsburgh. So I just wanted to mention that to kind of remind everybody about that before we got rolling tonight. And with that said, let's bring our incredible players. This first player, I'll bring in the lady we mentioned briefly already. She is a incredible comic with a slew of albums on Spotify and everywhere you can find albums. Make sure to look her up and listen to her comedy, because if you are into tabletop streaming role-playing games, I guarantee you will love this lady's stand-up comedy. She canceled a show to be here tonight, so you give her respect and you give her lots of digital claps, playing the scoundrel and British Army officer Flash Harrison. Please welcome Jackie Kashian, everybody.
Hello and welcome to me. Hi, Jared.
Hello, where are you at?
I'm just in my garage.
Oh, nice.
Do you like that spear? That's from Xena the Warrior Princess. It's a prop.
There it is. Oh, wow, that's incredible. Yeah.
Sure.
I was a big Xena fan. Were you a Xena head?
Yeah. Are you kidding? Between 3 and 6 on an afternoon on the road? That is playing on the A&E USA network in the 90s.
I really miss those syndicated shows that came on, 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday, like Stargate SG-1.
Right. I ended up watching a lot of things that were sort of like somebody's dad loved them. Like I've seen all of Bones, all of NCIS.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've seen some murder.
Yeah. It may surprise you to know, Jackie, because I have like a really kind of a young jet setter, kind of like a hip, like kind of like bad boy energy, that I kind of like a lot of stuff that dads would like.
You are a dad. That's your.
I am a dad. I have a small child named Rosalie Grace Logan, and today she was wearing a Batman t-shirt, so I tried to keep getting her to say Batman, but when she said it, it just sounded like Dat Fan.
Oh, Dad Fan. He had spreadsheets. Yes, I remember him.
Yeah, my daughter just kept going, Dat Fan, and I was like,
she's the last comic standing. Why wouldn't you be a fan?
She's a stand for last comic standing. Jackie, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your incredible role-playing skills. Let's bring in your other players. She is the Neptune Society mainstay. She's played 3 characters for us now because I keep killing them. But she's got a good attitude about it. She's a killer role player, streamer, and actress. Please welcome Becca Scott, everybody.
It is my great pleasure to be here again.
Yes.
I got freckles since you last saw me, and that's for Roxy Wilder. And I just want to say, I really appreciate your ability to kill me off, because as a keeper, I don't have the cojones. It's so difficult. I always lie about the dice, and I let people live, and you don't. You're cruel and heartless in the best way.
It hurts my heart sometimes to do it, but I gotta say, when you play D&D or other role-playing games, maybe you're not thinking you're gonna die, but in Call of Cthulhu, I think you kind of signed up for it, right?
I'm working my way up to murdering people better. I've been too nice, and you are a great inspiration.
Thank you. Yes, I do have sociopathic tendencies and have trouble reading emotions. So thank you, Becca, and thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing the hard living 6-shooting Roxy Wilder here to London for tonight's adventure. I'm going to bring in your final player. He is a incredible stand-up comedian, television writer, author of the book My Life as a Goddess, and he just had his 32nd birthday. Please welcome the wonderful Lady Hypatia Montague Bartlett Mob. Please welcome Guy Branum, everybody.
Hello. Good
Hello.
to be here.
Thank you for being here, Guy. How do things feel different now that you're a year older?
Yes, I feel like I will take a more mature approach to my wasting 3 hours drunk and stoned playing a teenager's game with friends.
Great, perfect. We just had Guy's birthday was a trivia night, and I was on a team of all straight males called the Het Gala, but we lost.
But more importantly, I lost more than you guys did. It was all categories. It was me, Jackie. It was me going solo against groups of my friends designated by sexual orientation, and I lost the most to these groups of 6 people.
That is awesome.
I can't believe that you lost the most. I think you were doing well, but you had the lowest score. Is that right?
The Radiohead albums, comic standing, like, you guys trounced me.
Wait, so everyone else, it was a team sport, but for you, it was individual.
Yes.
See, trivia is a team sport. There's no one brain can hold all the trivia.
No, but Becca, I'm supposed to be to pub trivia what you are to online, like, role-playing games. Like, I'm supposed to be bringing it. And
you are multifaceted, and I think you should have been able to bring it, but you might have been impaired.
Yes, that's true. But also, I would assert that perhaps humility is the greatest birthday gift of all.
I thought you were going to say that you drove better when you were drunk, and I was going to say,
no man is an island, Guy Branum. But I think Lady Montague Bartlett Mob could have won that trivia night. Are you guys ready to play some Call of Cthulhu 7th edition?
Yes, please.
Could be. Yes, wholeheartedly.
And we shall do it. First, we start with the most action-packed, most exciting, most throw you into the middle of the action thing we possibly could, a recap. And I think we could all use it. So, our 3 characters, Colonel Flash Harrison, a scoundrel who sort of uses his position as a colonel in the British Army to kind of, get drunk, make money, and screw women. He was joined by Roxy Wilder. Roxy Wilder, a Westerner, someone from the United States who had been hired recently to sort of track down Wilma Wiggleton, who had gone missing in the United States. And coming up empty-handed, Roxy Wilder returned to England to inform Wilma's surrogate father, Captain Jeffrey Middlemass, Captain Jeffrey Middlemass had also called to his bedside Lady Hypatia Montague Bartlett Mobb, one of the biggest funders of the Neptune Society, and her family has a connection to the founders of that society in the form of Lord Bartlett, the guy that started the society altogether. That is Lady Hypatia's father. So they were all called to the bedside of our friend Captain Jeffrey Middlemass, who right before he died revealed that when the Neptune Society started, they had a teacher, a mentor, a sorcerer who had taught them the ways of magic, who had taught them the ways of the occult, but they quickly realized that this person was mad with power, was too powerful, and was going to doom them all. So they cast a spell on this person to make him forget who he was, and they had him placed in St. Mary's of Bethlehem Asylum, otherwise known as Bedlam. There he is, the man known as Norman Densmore. Right before he died, Captain Jeffrey Middlemass begged our 3 player characters to go to Bedlam, to find Norman Densmore and cast the spell that makes him forget again. What followed was a complete free-for-all, chaotic infiltration and combat sequence where our players succeeded. I did not think that they would. I made it very hard. They snuck into Bedlam.
I sharpshooted, so that's what happened there. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you did not interrupt at all. A lot of guns were kind of pointed at various personages, and at the end of the day, our 3 player characters managed to cast the spell on this gentleman again. Our second session found our players in an interesting situation. Various clues, various parts of the spell started appearing. Sugar cubes used in tea started to become fearful to them. They saw paintings of Frederick the Great where there had not been a painting there before. Yes, and a torrential downpour was falling on the city of London. They looked into the files and artifacts that had been recovered from the destroyed headquarters of the Neptune Society, and they found a poem by Lord Bartlett, the founder of the society, that mentioned Lydney Park in Gloucestershire. I'm saying that incorrectly, but you guys hear what I'm saying. Gloucestershire. Guy Branum, please say it for me.
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire.
There you go.
Thank you. So they found this poem that mentioned Lydney Park in Gloucestershire, and then they investigated the strange disappearance of a train. The London Metropolitan Railway, the first subway ever to be built in the great capital city of London, a train on it had disappeared. Our players went down into the tunnels to look into this situation and quickly found themselves in some sort of strange ethereal subterranean city where they were chased and attacked by giants whose heads split in twain, the horrifying gugs of dream myth. Flash Harrison disappeared mainly because Jackie had to go on stage. Roxy Wilder was ripped apart by one and suddenly in her bed in her rooms in London. And meanwhile, Lady Montague ascended. She escaped. She ascended up to the train platform again and found that all of London had been flooded, and she saw a white ship, a sailing ship, coming to her down the road, down the street. Yes, coming through, navigating through the buildings of London on the flooded London waters. And out of that ship came Captain Jeffrey Middlemass, who told her that she must go deeper. And so now I am going to begin tonight's adventure by asking first that everybody make sure they know where their sanity and their luck is.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start the adventure with Colonel Flash Harrison, who suddenly has water splashed onto his face and is kicked out of a bed in a brothel somewhere in Limehouse.
Oh, this seemed like a good use of my time. What?
So, in other words, to be very clear, Jackie Kashian, your entire adventure appears to have been some sort of dream. When the water
Right.
on your face, you awaken in this brothel, and the madam is standing over you with two muscled men wearing derby hats, and they are waiting for you to vacate the premises. Your time is up.
And is the water has been splashed onto me, or is the bed literally floating? Like, is there water?
Interesting. The bed is not literally floating. The torrential downpour you experienced in your last adventure does not appear to have occurred in this place. People are acting like business as usual, although your bed may be a bit more soaked than
Sure.
I
don't know if you know this about Flashy, but he's not shooting blanks. Anyway, so yeah, I like that.
The bed is covered in Flash's semen. What do you do next?
I get up, I shake it out, I shake all of my clothes out, I shake out my shoes, and I take my leave of these lovely ladies.
Very good. You walk out into a way too bright day in London, in Limehouse. I mean, it reeks of fish and poverty here. But the sun is shining down on you, and you don't see any evidence of that strange deluge that was happening in what must have been your dream. Give me a sanity roll.
Oh, shit. All right. Talk me through it, my friend. Here we are with sanity. My sanity is
rolling
at
under your
39.
Sanity.
And so I'm rolling percentile dice, correct?
Yes, under your current sanity.
Thank you very much for this tiny reminder of what the hell I'm doing. So here we go. I would like something less than a 36.
Oh, God.
I will miss that. I will get a 45.
Okay. So I'm only going to have you lose one sanity as you realize that very extremely real experience you just had was but a dream. And the reason you lose one sanity is you think to yourself, is this also a dream? Because that felt like my life. I'm going to cut to Roxy Wilder, who awoken, unfortunately, dying in the Dreamlands or in the dream, caused her, to lose 1d10 sanity, not 10 full sanity. And you are now kind of, pulling out of your covers. What would you like to do, Roxy?
I need a drink right now.
Great. Yes, I'm sure you have some rot gut whiskey on
pull it out from under the bed where I keep it, and I bite off the cork. Cork? I don't know.
Sure. Yes, it is a cork.
I thought I was ripped apart by some sort of God-forsaken creature.
You were about to say Godzilla, but good save.
It's more of a king. God, I can't even remember. It felt so real. My companions, they were here. I'm crazy.
What would you do next, Roxy, after these strange events have occurred?
Well. I thought very much that I needed to investigate a train.
Mm-hmm.
And now that train may or may not have been in my imagination, I'm going to go to a park I heard about in a poem. What else are you going to do today?
Oh, you're heading straight to Lydney Park. Okay, interesting. Great. Well, you step out of your rooms and
it's probably not real. I don't believe in hocus pocus at all, but perhaps perhaps someone shooting there that would throw a plate in the air that I may shoot at, or a duck or what have you. I don't want to be alone in my rented rooms today.
Okay, well, no, that makes complete sense. So you walk out of your rented rooms into, sort of a middle class-ish part of London, and you're walking about, and the sun is shining, and people are walking by. It looks to be, 10 in the morning or so, and everything appears to be normal. So is it your intention to, because you did hear Lady Hipatia say, we need to go to Lydney Park before you awaken. Is it your intention to head there?
it's just replaying over and over in my memory. And as someone who was brought here with not much to do aside from wait for instructions and just be paid as a freelance investigator, I'm feeling fancy free. I might just walk to a park.
Okay, well, after doing a little bit of brief research, maybe by asking some folks, you realize that Lydney Park, Gloucestershire, is quite a ways away. It's hours and hours away by train,
So
or a
that
couple days on horse.
nice stroll, you're telling me. I say to the man who was outside of the apartments I keep.
Right? Yeah, the man who just like gives directions. He's sitting out there.
You just sit here to give directions all day long. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, there's a guy out there, and you ask him, and he's like, Gloucester? Why, that's days away, lass.
Well, what if you are, say, a champion sharpshooter and
He's
you
got
walk very
a
quickly?
big table full of brushes in front of him. That's what he does out here. He just sells brushes.
What kind of brush is this?
You begin to talk with the man about brushes, and if you'd like to purchase one, you may, using a little money from your cash on hand. Meanwhile, in another realm, Lady Hypatia, you stand on the platform of the rail station, and there is a boat docked with it, and Captain Jeffrey Middlemass stands before you. I would like to know. I can also tell you that your sanity has returned at the end of the last adventure. You were quite unstrung, but if you'd like, you can start kind of slowly coming back to yourself. And he says to you, "Lass, you must go deeper."
Okay. I just have sorry, I just went through a lot of something. But mother's brother married a Bathurst. I believe they owned a Lydney Park somewhere in Gloucestershire. Do you know anything about Lydney Park? I think
Yes.
we need to get there.
Yes, you must go to the source, the place where Densmore was first summoned.
Okay, where would that be?
The poem. You've already found it. The poem. It
Right.
leads the way.
So I probably need to go back to the waking world, right? Should I go back to the waking world, travel, and then return to the dream realm? Or should I just travel in the dream realm?
No. Nodens will haunt you forever here if you stay here. You must go to Lydney Park. You must go to the source of this problem, the source of this nightmare, and end it. Or slowly, you will be driven mad by these dreams.
Okay, I would like to try to lucid dream fly just a little bit.
Oh, okay. I would like you to add dreaming to your skills on an empty line. There's a bunch of empty lines on the far right side of your sheet.
This is the first, and it's very exciting.
It is, and I'm actually going to make sure I have the correct. I want to make sure I have the exact correct way to get this here. I have an actual book that tells us how to do this. I did not expect you to do this, but we're going to figure it out. Wait, okay, here we go. And it's equal to something when you start. Here it is. Okay, 1/5 of your power.
Ooh, all right. So I got myself a 9 in dreaming.
Okay, great. So you in order to fly right now, you need to roll under that 9.
All right. This is not lucky, but I'm using an app on a phone.
Okay.
Is this road legal?
Of course, you're allowed to use phone apps. What I will say is I'm going to give you a bonus die because it's your first time trying this, and I'm so shocked that you attempted it, and I feel like Lady Hypatia maybe has a little bit more of a chance. 10%. It's not impossible. So roll the 10s die of your or roll your D100 twice, basically, and take the better.
I got a 39 the first time. And then I got a 7.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead and check your dreaming skill.
Okay.
And that means it could get better later. And Lady Hypatia suddenly, her gowns, her dresses, her petticoats billowing, suddenly lifts up off of the train station, and all the strange silk bedecked sailors aboard the white ship look at you, and they shout and they go, "It is one of the great ones, one of the old gods." And Captain Jeffrey Middlemast goes, "I knew I picked the right one for this quest last."
It's amazing.
that is amazing.
What are you doing now, Lady Hypatia, that you have gone aloft?
I need to wake up.
So now you're trying to wake up. Well, that's different than flying. So tell me where you go flying or what you try next in order to wake up.
Okay. I'm going to just continue to go up. If down is further in, I'm going to try to levitate myself back up into my own head.
This is amazing, and I'm going to allow this. Basically, Lady Hypatia, you keep rising and rising, and soon the entirety of London glistens and twinkles beneath you. And it's in this world, it's completely filled with water. And now, as you get higher, you can see spires beyond London, Cadath and the cold wastes, spiraling up high, many miles into the sky, and eventually you rise even above that, and you see strange creatures, frost-rimed shantax flapping in the distance, but you continue to rise and rise. Someone just called you Mobby Poppins, which I love. And eventually, because I think your parasol is probably, if parasols are era appropriate, out as well, and soon it becomes so cold, and it becomes so completely hard to breathe that you find yourself kind of lifting up out of the atmosphere and heading toward the moon. But I think that soon it gets so cold and your head gets so filled with darkness and the twinkling of stars that one of the particular star blinks brightly at you, and you realize that it is not a star, but it is rather the light sifting in through your diaphanous curtains and draperies, and you are in your boudoir, in your rooms here in London, and there is a knock on your Miss, will you be wanting your breakfast now?
Do come in. As a married woman, I am allowed to take my breakfast in my bed, but I will not. I'm going to get dressed, go downstairs, and try to figure out where the fuck the Colonel and Roxy are.
Very good.
Colonel's just going to head towards Lady Hypatia's, just because she's got the only address that's stationary.
So I'm heading there too.
Okay,
my walk turned out to be longer than I thought to the park, so I make other plans.
No problem. So
I would like to be riding Veronica, who I bought a brush for.
You are riding your horse, Veronica, and you have the finest horse brush with hair imported all the way from the far off Orient. Or at least that's what the guy standing outside your apartment building with a table full of brushes told you.
Everybody that walked past me, I yelled at them about my brushes from the Orient.
Very good. Soon you are all in perhaps Lady Hypatia's parlor, and you are discussing your next move. So let me know what you'd like to do.
I'm gonna look
so
around.
Let me get this straight. We all had the same dream.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's not right. That's not how dreams are supposed to work.
I don't know. Things are weird right now, Roxy Wilder. Things are weird. And,
despite the fact that we gave Professor Leaf or Mr. Leaf or Mr. Densmore the Waters of Leaf, he is still exerting some sort of power upon our realm.
So
should we kill him?
Let's reread the poem.
Okay.
You could try killing him. I mean, I would love to see how that goes. But I will reread the poem to you. Oh, there it is. Gray is he, as gray as morning haze, Time is an abyss, and he has walked its days. He has watched his temples fall, and empires too, crying silent crystal tears like drops of morning dew. Cold is he, as cold as storming seas. Dreams are an abyss, and the dreams he has are these. Giants crawling in the dark, their faces split in twain. Night things tickling his flesh and sickening his brain. Dead is he, as dead as you or I, when we reach for the abyss because we wish to die and be born anew, we think. But alack, it is not so. Our souls are pulled out with the tide, and we know not where they go. That deserved an encore anyway. Thank you. So that is the poem, and it is, of course, written in the Romantic style by your father, Lord Bartlett. But the most important part of the poem, which I don't think was pictured there, is that at the bottom, as people often do, it was signed Lord Bartlett, Lydney Park, Gloucestershire, in the year. I believe it was like 1820 or something like that.
Nice. Oh, I didn't write it down.
Okay, so obviously, Lady Hypatia, do you tell us? Because my dream was just that there were monsters where their faces were indeed split twain, and then I woke up where I'd prefer to return to, which is a brothel surrounded by at least 3 or 4 ladies with their bosoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you guys dream?
No, same thing. Split face gorilla creatures. Yeah.
After you guys disappeared, I made it back up to the train platform, and then Papa's dear friend, what's his name?
Captain Jeffrey Middlemass.
Captain Jeffrey Middlemass showed up in a magnificent gray ship and told me that we needed to go to Lydney Park, which I believe is a stately home. I mean, in the Welsh border counties, but still a nice family home that I believe mother's brother married someone from. The point is I think we should try to learn a little something about Lydney Park and its relation to the family or anything else.
Do you have any books on that in your home?
I mean, we do have a nice book of listing the stately homes of England. And the border counties are still technically England.
I have pictures because I can study a picture and I can memorize it. But something I don't like much is reading and remembering words.
And are they in Debrett's or is it not? Are they not classy?
The Bathursts would definitely be in Debrett's. They're not titled, not like the Montagues or the Bartletts, but like my husband, the Mobs, still fine people.
Right.
It doesn't matter where your family's from, so long as you can shoot good and you know where to point your rifle.
Why I'll never visit America.
You're both right.
You're
both right. Flashy would like you to know that he's on both of your sides and then goes and pours a brandy. Seems early for it, but he's going to do it anyway. Anyone want it?
I think we've cracked it now. Yeah. Everybody's getting drunk. That should work out well for everyone. And if Lady Montague would like to roll a credit rating roll, she might know more about Lydney Park.
All right. Okay. And then is my library better? No, my library is not better. So I'll go with credit rating. And I need 60 and I got 3.
Okay, you don't check credit rating, but I will tell you that as you already sort of hinted, you know a lot about these people. I'm going to say with a 3, that's a critical hit. Definitely, your family is related to this family in some a roundabout way. The owner of Lydney Park is a deacon, a devout Christian named William Hiley Bathurst. And he does own a considerable bit of land that is, this is the time, this is the Victorian era. So out in the countryside, there was the big house in the countryside, where the patricians held their endless parties. They had enormous manses with big grounds and lots of tenants on them who were farming. That's the kind of place we're talking about. And You know that Lydney Park, that this grand old house is located in the village of Lydney, which is right on the edge of the Severn River. And it's half a day's travel from London by coach. Even less by rail. So you can get there either way.
Well, I think
we're
rail.
going by rail because, as we all know, sometimes a train might mysteriously go into the side of a tunnel, and that's where monsters are.
Oh, interesting. There's going to be monsters. What I like about a train is that there's a bar car, but I understand that you might not want me to go into the bar car. So do we want to take a carriage?
I'm going to have to bring Veronica along. She gets really lonely without me, so I'm going to need to ride behind the train or preferably a carriage because then I can keep up.
Okay, so you guys want to spend the half day and go by coach? And I mean, we can all bring horses. Lady Hypatia, how is your horse?
You could also just ride. Yeah, as Roxy has pointed out, if you guys could all just ride, especially, Flash is a cavalryman, so...
Yeah,
and the lady can do an incredible side saddle. Why would you want to? I don't know.
I lose horses pretty regularly, so I think of them. I like good horse flesh. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying. I got a big bay right now. Big bay animal, 17 hands. It's a good goer. So I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a ride out into the country. Go see what we can see.
You guys want me to ride in like the elements,
Right.
as though we were hunting, but all day?
Parasol.
Well, would you want to meet us there, and you want to do a little reconnaissance? Get there probably 3 hours ahead of us if you took the train, right?
I'm not taking a train. I was attacked by weird monsters that came from where our train disappeared to. I would take my coach, but I'm gonna take this as a weird challenge to who I am. And be like, maybe I should put my riding habit back on, like when we beat up all those orderlies, and get my shit together, and have, cook.
You look very imposing. You've got a nice hussar uniform with maybe some little bit of fringe.
Yes.
Live it up.
Yeah, we heard a whole concerto as there was a montage of you getting ready, and we are impressed.
Top hat off to the side, riding habits.
Can we have an existential conversation? What are we even doing here? I mean, we believe in a dream, and we know that we turn a man into a sugar cube. But what does it all mean?
It's a great question. What are you going to do when you get to Lydney Park? Why are you going there? These are good questions.
I feel like I'm called there. Like we have some greater purpose.
We're supposed to go deeper into the abyss, right?
Part of me is worried that we're still asleep right now. Like, how do we know that this isn't just another dream?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the potion, the waters of leaf, may have not fully worked like they did the first time, or in some way, Densmore's energies are still sort of like coming from this. And then I'm going to ask one more question, which is, in that beautiful article about Lydney Park detailing all of this stately home has to offer in case poorer people want to visit and gawk, were there just any little notations down at the end about other things on the property?
There is, that's very, very interesting. Why don't you give me a library use roll? Anybody who'd like to, as you look over the articles about these
books.
And it's
I'll look around.
It's a book that you have, Lady Hypatia, that's probably like, it's, the landed families of England, right? And their estates. So you may go ahead and do that.
Okay, I made mine.
I did
Very
not
good.
make mine.
There are far too many words on that page.
Don't worry, Lady Hypatia's got you. There are some old pagan ruins on the site.
I think that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, let's go there, I guess.
They are described as
maybe I can shoot something. That'd be great.
Celto-Roman ruins, Celto-Roman ruins on the site. And so, yes, so we are riding by horse. This is an interesting idea. And that's you as well, Lady Hypatia. You're going to go side saddle. Okay, very good. This is a long trip. Not that long. Like I said, it was a half a day by carriage. So you can assume that people without a full carriage that they're dragging could go a little faster. So I'm going to say, but it's still about 10 hours on the back of a horse, which could really, really exhaust someone. So let me know when you're done making your preparations. Let me know if you have any extra preparations, and then we are going to head out onto the open roads of England.
Now that I have this oriental brush for Veronica, I think she's ready. I'm going to pack extra oats, extra water in my saddlebags.
Great. Anybody else want to do anything to kind of get ready for a ride like this?
Well, saddlebags, I'll always have, obviously a bottle of brandy and a rope.
Very good.
And then, of course, I have my weapons. I'll have my carbine and my saber and my pistol.
Very good.
I have a bolt action rifle as well as a Colt revolver that are always on my person, and I have tended to them, cleaned them, and re-upped on ammunition before setting out.
Hours in a side saddle. Good point, Fancy Pants. 83.
Lady Hypatia, anything you'd like to do to prepare before you head out onto the open road?
I clean my rifle and make sure it's in good working order. I request that cook put together some provisions for the road. And then what day of the week is it?
It is a Monday.
All right. Mr. Ma performs his connubial responsibilities Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and every other Sunday. And what I'm going to request that Mr. Ma not perform his connubial duties because I have a full day on Zenobia tomorrow.
They say that sex makes up for 3 hours of sleep. You might want to do it. Yes.
You haven't seen Mr. Ma, okay?
Speaking of 3 hours of sleep, as you head out, you guys realize that your quite fitful dreams the night before have left you a little tired. But you do head out onto the open roads. Soon London slowly recedes. The buildings get smaller. They get more quaint and rustic. The roofs change from, the slate tiles to, a more kind of wood and kind of a clay kind of a texture. And soon you're looking at people who are of a lower class, not metropolitans, two of you. And you are indeed in a green and pleasant land. The rolling green hills greet you. There are flowers blooming, birds tweeting in the trees, but you have a long road ahead of you, and we are going to find out how this trip goes with a survival role. You are, as you said, sort of out and exposed to the elements. And I can tell you that after you've been moving for several hours, bad weather does come up. The clouds get very dark overhead. Rain begins to fall, not in the torrents it was falling in your dream, but it is falling on you. You guys are getting quite damp, and one of you can lead the survival role. You can be the one to roll it while the others help.
Before rolling, I have a checked survival roll as well as firearms. I wonder if I could quickly improve them, perhaps?
You may indeed. You may indeed.
Okay.
I would like to help because I've been rolling. I've replaced my dice with 2 different dice in an effort to punish those previous 2 dice.
Okay, I went from 10 to 16.
Nice.
That's great. Okay, that's a good little jump up. You may roll survival, Miss Roxy Wilder, and you may roll survival, Colonel Flash Harrison. Who's going to be the leader though? Who's going to be the survival leader here?
I might have just rolled it, and I think I should be the leader.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, not me. Not me, because I'm a helper.
Did you just roll under 16?
Yes, I did. Roxy
God
Wilder knows
damn.
her way around the outdoors.
All right, check it again.
Ranger skills. Nice.
Roxy Wilder basically like looks at a
Wow.
map. How'd you do, Flash?
I also made my survival skill, but out of 27 out of 30.
Holy shit. I want you to check that as well.
Okay.
You guys make record time because Lady Hypatia, you took the two most ridingest, horse savvy pair of varmints you possibly could on this trip. Basically, these two are like leading you through the forest where there's cover from the rain. They're using maps to kind of like, go around the main roads. And not only that, they're getting you there quicker. It doesn't take a full 10 hours. It takes only about 9 hours. And when you get done, I mean, I don't want to lie to you. You guys are covered in mud. And you are quite exhausted. Like, in fact, I'm going to say that, some roles that deal with maybe running or physical exertion are going to be hard until you rest. Okay. And it is also deep nighttime right now when you arrive in the village of Lydney. And let me explain that village to you. It clings to the Severn River. It's a quaint hamlet of brown cottages squatting on green hillsides. All of the doors are shut. The lights are out. And the only sound is the trickling of the Severn River. It's taking you this long to arrive in the dead of night. And so let me know what you'd like to do next.
It would probably be really terrible for us to fall asleep here.
We can't. With a lady like Ms. Hypatia Mob here, we need to find some accommodations that are suitable. And so I want to look for the inn and wake up this innkeep.
No, I'm like in the city of Nodens. If we fall asleep,
you think that we should keep going because if we go back to sleep, we might end up in our terrible dreamland.
I think we should maybe take our horses an hour in any direction and get some sleep, and then come back, or just head and fall asleep by these ruins.
Or if you don't want to go to sleep, all you need is a little opium.
Wait, I think opium does put you to sleep.
Not that.
It puts you into a trance. It puts you into a trance, which it can often be, lead to sleep. But
I feel like an apothecary of some sort would have some sort of answer.
Or a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you guys are looking for uppers at this point? Wait. So is it when we get there, it's the middle of the night? Does that mean, are you talking 10 p.m. or are you talking 2 p.m., 2 a.m.?
I think it's 2 a.m. because, you guys had a little bit of discussing, and yes, everybody wants you to use the horse cocaine that they debuted in an earlier episode. So you guys, you had to ride all the way from London, 9 hours, over hill and dale. You're covered in mud and wet, but you got here without having to take a break or without meeting any setbacks. Like, you got here in record time. So let me know, because I'm telling you, you are so tired that if you do physical things in this state, you will have to make hard rolls, not mental things. Your mental acuity is still fine. So
I say that we know that we're going to get there in the middle of the night, so we stop an hour from this place at a town with a nice enough inn, and then we decide to sack out from 1 a.m. until at least 5 or 6, and then come in with the light.
How do you guys feel about that?
Turn right around, get out of town.
No, we're not turning around. We knew going there that we were making such good time, and Lady Hypatia said we don't want to sleep when we get there. Let's
Jackie,
sleep an hour out.
To change something I've already narrated, you must simply give me an intelligence roll to have thought about that already.
Oh, Flash has got that. Flash has got that. Great. Let's do this. Don't use luck. Don't have to use luck. Don't have to use luck. And he makes it a 57 out of 60.
Yes. So Flash said, do we want to go to sleep in this place when we get there? And you all said, that sounds like a poor idea. And so you park yourself in a village nearby. I will tell you the name of the village in a moment.
Retcon. Thank you. Thank you for allowing this to exist.
Yes. So, are you going to find the inn and get a good night's rest here, and then go to Lydney with the dawn? Is that the plan?
Absolutely. Brilliant planning.
Okay, so you find yourself in the village of Viney Hill. Viney Hill.
That doesn't sound ominous at all. Let's definitely go to Viney Hill and chill out for 5 hours.
Well, I know it wasn't mentioning any poems that keep you up at night, and that's what I care about.
You awaken the next morning. The inn at Viney Hill was very poor, Lady Hypatia. I'm not sure if you were okay with it. It was, in fact...
I would like to roll survival.
You may. You may. And what I will say is that it was really like the room in like the local deacon's house. And then Flash and Roxy had to stay in the barn.
I failed my survival roll when a breakfast of black pudding, eggs, and fried mushrooms was brought to me. I couldn't contain my disgust, and I offended the poor deacon's wife.
Oh my gosh! Were the sheets damp? I'm so sorry.
Yes, she is offended, so much so that she doesn't even ask you how many lumps of sugar you take in your tea. And so when your tea arrives, Lady Hypatia, it is brimming over with sugar cubes.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Madness.
You
two awaken in the barn. You're pulling hay out of your hair.
No, I'll leave it there.
I brush it out of my beard, which is growing in.
Yes. Oh, yes. Flash has let himself go. He hasn't had to appear for roll call in a while. And so, are we mounting our horses and heading over to Lydney now?
One last thing. Roxy made a really good point. Should we see if there is an apothecary or dentist or somebody who can give us some good old-fashioned cocaine? It's 1863. That's just in like a syrup.
That sounds like a reasonable idea. So why don't you give me a roll that would like help you find an apothecary? Does anybody have anything that they could think of?
Anthropology? That's named.
No, that's not crazy. I mean, like how these quaint communities work or the signs to look for. Yes, you may roll anthropology.
Or charm. Okay.
I like anthropology
I'll
actually.
hidden to find the right location.
There you go. That sounds good.
Anthropology fail.
I'm gonna roll first aid.
Fumbled.
First aid is a good idea.
I get it. 10 on 30.
Very good. Well, luckily, Lady Hypatia's sharp eye, her first aid abilities, they see a what do you call it when the snakes are wrapping around the rod? What is that symbol called?
I don't know what it's called.
Prescription.
It's called the cauticus. Goodbye.
Hey, it's secret climp. Yeah, the cauticus. Okay, so you see this symbol of like healing on one of the doors, sort of like kind of in an old kind of engraving, and you can knock on that door if you'd like.
Knock, knock, knock.
It has a little window that can open, and so it does. And you're looking at a man with a very wide mouth, and he seems to be wearing like some sort of turban on his head that's like quite bulging and puffy. And he says, "Yes, can I help you?"
We're in the market for some cocaine or cocaine products.
Cocaine. One moment. And he disappears back into his little cottage, and you hear crashing and things jumbling around and smashing and things coming off of shelves. And he goes, I'm afraid I don't have any cocaine. But I do have this studded tooth powder.
This man is definitely holding it out. And I step inside the doorway and I say, "Excuse me, sir, but I think the lady has just asked you for a product that I'm sure you have in reserve somewhere." And I touch my pistol and pull it out slightly.
Intimidate.
Now you better get her what she's looking for.
Very good. You may roll your intimidate.
I was going to try to charm him.
Particular skill in it, but we'll see what happens.
It looks like the intimidate is happening.
He's not impressed.
Can I try charming him?
No, in fact, he pushes open the bottom half of the door and he walks out toward you, and he has a scimitar in his hand, and his legs are the legs of a goat as he moves toward you. And he is like, Nodin sent you. And he starts to move toward you, and you guys must all make sanity rolls to see a man with goat legs.
Okay.
Fail.
Made it by 1. Gonna grab my gun.
This ain't right. Something about this ain't right. I don't feel good.
Two lost sanity, Lady Hypatia. 2 lost sanity, Roxy Wilder. As the man moves toward you with a scimitar, and you start to look around you and notice that some of the little houses and village homes here don't look quite like they are of the architectural style of England in 1863.
And what does Flashy see?
Flash, you see everything that I'm describing, but you have lost no sanity.
Okay, so I'm shucking out my gun, and I'm gonna shoot the goat boy.
Okay. Before, does anybody have anything that not dealing with firearms to do?
I'm shooting.
Okay. I'm gonna let Flashy shoot first because he said he was going to, and then I'm gonna let Miss Wilder shoot, and then we will go to Lady Hypatia. Go ahead and fire your weapon.
I will fire it. Sadly, pulled it out, ended up shooting it into the ground. Too quick.
So Flash, grabs for his revolver, and in classic Flash Harrison style, the clumsy oaf that he is, pulling it out, he fires it into the ground. Roxy Wilder, it's to you.
I wanted to impress Roxy Wilder because I've seen Roxy Wilder draw a weapon a lot faster, a lot smoother. Instead of just doing it my way, I tried to do it the Roxy Wilder way.
I spin my rifle. It's on my back. I do duck my shoulders, and I flip it up, and it's just there, and I shoot right for his center of gravity.
Okay. And how did it go? How did the roll go?
Oh, we got it.
Okay, great. Tell me your damage that you do.
That's right. That's the part I need to have handy.
That's okay.
My rifle. 1d6 plus 1, and I got it wrong. It's a 5, including the plus 1.
So that is at least half his hit points. Let's see how he does. Okay, he fails his ability to stay conscious. You blast him. He falls back. His turban kind of unravels, and you see that he has 2 large curling horns under it. This man is like a faun or a satyr. He now has a big hole in his chest from where Roxy Wilder filled him with hot lead. And now you must all make spot hidden rolls.
Well, good thing it's a Wednesday and not a Saturday. I'm trying to make a joke. And Hypatia laughs.
That -1 sanity for that joke.
Flashy is looking at my gun. I'm looking at my gun as if it has betrayed me, and so I do not spot anything hidden. I rolled a 98.
How did the rest of you do?
Oh,
I failed.
I'll spend 3 luck to succeed.
That's a good idea, Roxy Wilder, because what you see are those black winged things that you spotted before. In fact, at one point, using the lens, you spotted one curled around Lady Hypatia. Well, now they seem not translucent at all, but they seem like they're landing on the roofs of buildings nearby. And you had to spot hidden them because they are utterly silent, faceless, with long horns and big, flapping black wings. Let's see a picture of them, Secret Keeper. Yes. And they are landing on the buildings around you, and they appear to be, they look aggressive, Roxy Wilder.
And are they hidden? At what point do the rest of us get to see them?
If Roxy tells you, you will see them, but they are a little hidden. Like they're a little bit tough. They cling to shadows. They cling to chimneys, things like that.
I feel their shadow pass over me as I'm sharpshooting because the light is really crucial to getting the perfect shot off. And I alert my friends right after my shot is fired.
Yes, and so now you guys see that you're surrounded by, let's see how many of these things there are. There are 5 of them, and you may begin a new round. I'm going to say this time we're going to start with anybody firing. It's going to start with Roxy, then go to Flash if he's firing, and then Lady Hypatia. If you are firing, let me know, but you will go third. Let's start with our friend Roxy Wilder. What would you like to do? Would you like to run or fire or both?
Well, this seems like a position where I'm not afraid to fire, but I think we need to find better cover. And I would like to, perhaps there's some sort of like a tavern in this town that's not run by an evil goat man. You know, I put a hole in that goat man, so I'm gonna run inside his house.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you can shut the bottom half of that door, and it gives you good cover. So I'm going to say you're going to do all of that, but that'll be, your round, the moving and the kind of getting in there and getting in position.
And I also want to yell to my friends that they do the same.
Very good. Flash Harrison follows. Okay. Flash, because Roxy has already set this up for you, you may also fire if you'd like. Would you like to do that?
Well, when I was when I was accusing my gun of not being good, I stuck it back in its holster and I grabbed my carbine. So that might be my hole where I follow her in and I go to a window and I have my carbine ready.
That sounds like a great plan. And Lady Hypatia Montague Bartlett Mom, what would you like to do?
I would like to see if I can fly. I'm not certain if we are dreaming or not. Yeah. And so I just want to see if I can fly.
Lady Hypatia Montague Bartlett Mob. Look, we could roll your. You already checked it, right? Let's roll to improve it once right now. Okay, so you start trying to dream. Roll to improve it by rolling, and you're trying to roll over. And if you roll over, then you can roll 1d10 and add that much.
Okay. I roll over.
Okay.
And then my 1d10 is 7.
Okay, so you've added 7 to 9. Am I wrong about it? That's right, right?
That's right.
So you now have a 16% dreaming skill. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say it's such a smart idea. Plus 20. You're rolling at a 36 or higher. Go ahead.
All right.
So 36 or lower. Sorry.
Did not make it.
Okay, so Lady Hypatia, your heels lift off the ground for a second, but then one of those things like lands silently in front of you and like skitters toward you, and it like breaks your concentration, and your heels hit the ground again. But that is your action. So Lady Hypatia is now surrounded by these things. You two, Flash and Roxy, are in cover, but Lady Hypatia is not, and it is now their turn. One of the things skitters forward almost silently. There's only just the slight sound of like gravel moving between its talons, and it gets up to Lady Hypatia, and it tries to kind of wrap itself around her, and it succeeds in seizing her. Okay. So what is happening now is it has this long tail with a very sharp barb on the end that kind of unravels from behind it, and it comes up to Lady Montague's neck. And Lady Montague, it is just slightly tickling your neck with this extremely sharp barb, and it draws a little blood. It draws 1 HP of damage from you, Lady Hypatia. And basically the effect is that you feel like if you move, it gets tighter and the thorn will go in. And so now Lady Hypatia is sort of being held as kind of a hostage. Let's go to my two. I'm gonna see if the other creatures come forward. Yep, that one does. Nope. Okay, so 2 of them have Lady Hypatia now. Another one is like crawled on top of Lady Hypatia. She has 2 of these night gaunts on top of her, and now I do want Lady Hypatia to roll sanity for this situation. It feels apropos.
All right. And she makes it a 26 on 39.
Nicely done, Lady Hypatia. That means that you only lose. You lose 0. And so Lady Hypatia has got these things on top of her. And now we go back to Roxy Wilder. You are armed. You are behind cover. Roxy, what would you like to do?
I'm armed. I'm behind cover, and I'm angry at that weird-looking creature. Did we kill the satyr goat man?
He suffered a major wound and went unconscious.
Right.
So he is not dead, but he is bleeding out on the floor.
All right. Well, what is the positioning? Is there any sort of mass on this night gaunt that I can see will not be too close to Lady Hypatia? Or if I'm shooting one, am I shooting the other? Or what's their distance to me?
It's time to show me how good you are at trick shooting, Roxy. Basically, they are not that far from you. I'd say that Lady Hypatia is only about 10 yards from you. So it's very close range for you. But in order to hit one of these things and not hit Lady Hypatia is a trick shot. So for a hard trick shot, I'll allow you to basically hurt one of them and we'll see what happens. For an extreme shot, I will allow you to remove one of them from her person with your gun. Because you'll hit its center of gravity in the right way or whatever.
That's Roxy's middle name. She closes one eye and she tips her hat even lower so the sun can't get in it. And she's rolling for her shotgun.
Okay.
Flashman's middle name is Chekhov.
How'd
that go, Roxy?
Is it worth spending that much luck?
How much would you need to spend?
I think that the sun is more in her eyes than she thought, and she dips that hat even lower before she fires because she knows when it's not going to be a good shot. She's going to push it.
Oh, wait, but
this combat. Okay, let me spend 8 luck.
Oh, okay, I'll allow that. If you'd like. So you spend 8 luck, and basically your shot misses, but then ricochets off of like a wall and smashes into the thing, and you can do damage.
What I meant to do all along.
Yes, of course. So wait, is that just to succeed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just hit the thing. So go ahead and give me a damage roll for this creature, and then Lady Hypatia, roll your luck. You're trying to roll under your current luck.
7 damage.
7 damage. Okay.
And I make it.
Great. That's good because Lady Hypatia, this thing gets blasted off your back, and it kind of scrapes you and makes you bleed some more as it goes with a little bit of your flesh as it goes off of you. And now there's only one curled around you. And then we come to so nicely done, Roxy. Nicely done, Lady Hypatia. That could have gone very poorly. And now it is Colonel Flash Harrison's turn. Colonel.
Okay, so is there one for me to shoot?
There's one left, but you need to get a hard success to hit it without hitting Lady Hypatia, or an extreme success to knock it off.
Colonel Flash, I'm always gonna leave you one to shoot.
Oh, that's sweet of you. I'm gonna give it a shot here. Let's do it. And I made it, but I did not make it hard. I just 43.
So go ahead and give me how much damage you did. And Lady Hypatia, I need another luck roll from you.
Damn. We got to get this off. Sorry. We got to get this thing off for you. D10 plus.
It's all right. I rolled a 13.
Oh, nicely done. So Lady Hypatia is like, as these things are being blown off of her by these two gun crazy companions. Yes. How did you do damage wise?
D10 plus 4, 9 plus 4 is 13.
13 damage, and you totally kill the one that you are firing at, Colonel, and it explodes. It explodes all over Lady Hypatia. Black ichor has covered her and her dresses and her shirt. And
seltzer water.
I think everybody who hasn't made a sanity roll about these things needs to. That's going to be Colonel Flash and Roxy Wilder. Give me sanity rolls, please. So there are nicely done. 0 sanity loss. How'd you do?
Not so
24 out of
good. I'm
Okay.
not used to these things. I'm not a believer. You seeing this sort of strange thing. It's not all right in my book.
No, and let's see how much loss Roxy Wilder takes. Roxy, 5 sanity loss, which means you now need to make an intelligence roll, and you want to fail it.
I can fail intelligence, let me tell you. 98.
Oh, nicely done. Okay, so you don't go temporarily insane. You still have your wits about you. You deny the reality of the situation, and you're able to continue. There are 4 of these night gaunt creatures left. One is kind of sitting on the ground near Lady Hypatia. The others are on rooftops nearby. They kind of crouched there like gargoyles, waiting to see how their companions did. And now I think it is Lady Hypatia's turn, because both of our firing friends went. So it is your turn, Lady Hypatia. What would you like to do?
I would like to run in where my friends are and put their guns in between these things and me.
That is a great idea, Lady Hypatia. And so you do that, and now a couple of these things fly down and try to grab Roxy Wilder, and they miss. They miss. There's 4, I said. Now 2 try to grab Flash Harrison, who's also sitting there in cover. And I'm making them have to make hard rolls because you said you got behind cover, right? They all miss. So these things are like right outside that door now, though. They're at like point blank range, and they're trying to like crawl in through that open space you were firing out of. Let's begin again with Roxy Wilder.
Oh, you best believe this firearm is doing what it's born to do. And that's right. All I need to understand is which end is the business end of my rifle.
Great.
So I miss.
That's okay. It makes sense. Like, you're really good at like long range shots, but you're like trying to get your rifle down to like trying to get a range so you can blow these things away because they're like coming in through the door. And so that is your turn, Roxy Wilder, and then Colonel Flash. It's up to you, my friend.
Come on, buddy. 38 out of 50.
That'll do her.
D10 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
I got 10, so 14.
That's really well done, my friend.
That's what these are. These are the good dice.
Colonel, keep an eye on your ammo. And actually,
Okay.
wait, let me just look at Colonel's. Actually, I just want to see how many.
My carbine rifle actually says there's 1.
Oh dear. Let me
What
see
does
here.
that mean? Why would I have
so much damage?
It does so much damage that you can only fit 1 shell at a time. And it only attacks 1 every 4 rounds. I must, as your keeper, tell you that something strange just went on. Your rifle is not acting the way it normally should. It's almost conforming to your wishes or your dreams. What is 1/5 of your power, Colonel Flash Harrison?
Oh no.
I can
8?
tell you it is an 8.
It's an
That's
8?
right.
Yeah.
It's an 8. So you may add a dreaming skill of 8%.
A dreaming skill?
A dreaming skill of 8%. And unless you roll it right now, that rifle will not continue to fire until it is reloaded.
Okay. Come on. Give me an 8. No. It will not give me an 8. It's a 25.
Okay. So now you must play with the real world rules of the rifle. Your stupid brain remembered, like it sometimes does in a brain. Wait, my rifle doesn't work like this.
My
But
rifle only works every 4 rounds, and this is only the 2nd round.
That's right. You also have a revolver and a saber. You're not helpless. But in the 2nd round, I will allow you to have fired before you realize that. So you may go ahead and do the damage. You did the damage, didn't you? You did like 14. So you killed another one. Okay, 2 of them are out. There's 3 left. Look, what's everybody going to do? It's now Lady Hypatia's turn.
I would like to fire a beam of light from my fingertips at one of these little creatures.
Incredible. Okay, give me a dreaming roll.
I don't make it.
Okay, so you guys see Lady Hypatia like going like beam of light, beam of light, beam of light, like, and you think that maybe she's gone mad again. And now the things all sort of like swarm in through the window, and there are only 3 left now. 2 attack Roxy Wilder. Fail. Fail. God, my dice. I'm switching dice.
There you go.
Okay. This one is the one that's left. It's attacking Colonel Flash, and it has him. So it has grabbed onto him and put its like thorny tail against his neck, and you are in like kind of a paralyzed state, Colonel Harrison. You know that if you move, it will stab through your neck and kill you. And its wings are like flapping to try to like pull Flash toward the open window where he was like aiming out of earlier. It's like flapping backward, like dragging like Flash by the heels, like toward the exit. New round, Roxy Wilder. What are you gonna do?
Well, here's the thing. We're leaning out in the apothecary double door, Flash and I, shooting side by side. So when this happens, I say, and I put my rifle at point blank range. I bury it in whatever weird fur or leathery nonsense this night gaunt has, and I'm shooting point blank, so.
Go for it. You can roll. You can add I think you can add a bonus die. That sounds fair to me.
Which die are luckiest? That's the question. Those are retired. Okay. 56. That's a success. Let's see if we get even better, though. 15.
Hey, there you go. Is
That's
that a
You're back. Roxy's back, you guys.
Yeah, that's a hard success. 14 is my extreme.
Great. If you roll a hard success at point blank range, I'm going to let you go ahead and roll an extra D6 of damage.
Okay, we need 2d6s. 11 points right there.
Okay. Boom! The thing explodes into black ichor again. Everybody is splattered with it. Everybody is now covered in an oily black substance. You guys look horrifying, but the creatures are gone. On the floor of the apothecary lies the satyr-like man, and he's like laughing as he like coughs up purple blood. Like,
what do you know? What do you know, goat man? And I shake him.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. You wanna ask this guy what he knows?
Who do you serve?
He says, the crawling chaos knows your names. You will not succeed in returning Nodens to his throne. Your destiny is to die here in a nightmare.
We're not trying to put Nodens back on his throne. We're trying to keep him off it. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I think some dark stuff thinks we're up to something that we're not up to.
Okay, we're still asleep in Vine Hill or whatever. I think we need to wake up, go back, get Norman Densmore, and bring him to this temple-y thing.
Okay.
So I'm sorry I brought us here only to have our sanity put in danger.
Let's load the horses on the train and head back to town.
Well, we have to wake up.
Right. Well, I mean, once we're wake. Yeah, right. Sorry, I stepped ahead of the...
Flash is like, oh, right, that part. Well, how are you going to do that?
Well,
how are you?
Before we do that, I would just like to try some simple conjuring in the dream space. Like, I realize that bad guys may come for us and stuff like that, but I just want to take like 4 minutes to sort of like summon a flame or something.
Okay, so you're gonna like very carefully practice your dreaming skill for a while, is what you're telling me?
For like 7 minutes.
Okay. I think that trying it for 7 minutes isn't really quite enough to get better. But time is weird here, Lady Hypatia, which means that if you'd like, you can spend Well, actually, give me a power roll. Anybody who'd like to.
All right.
Fail.
Made it.
Okay, Roxy Wilder, you realize, and maybe you share with your companions, that this is a dream, so we can stay here as long as we want and still wake up the next morning. Like, time in dreams doesn't work the way it works in the real world, so you could actually spend years here and wake up the morning after you went to sleep.
Let's not, but okay.
Maybe I could get better at reading.
I'm worried about more creatures of the darkness coming for us. If you guys want to wake up, I'll spend 1 hour in the dream space and then wake up at the same time as you, but I don't want to put you in danger.
Right. Well, can I get some more sanity if we stay in this dream space?
It doesn't seem likely. It seems like you've mostly been losing it. What I will say is that you now hear voices outside of the apothecary shop, kind of like shouting and like kind of they seem excited.
All right.
I say if you can wake us up, Lady Hypatia, wake us up. I'm
just going to slap myself really hard.
Interesting. Okay. Slapping yourself really hard. You need to give me a... I'm going to allow it to be a hard power roll.
Okay. I do not make it.
You succeed in leaving a red mark here on your face in the dream world.
And I stop Lady Hypatia. And then I slap Lady Hypatia.
Great. A Abrams Zucker style comedy sequence ensues. Okay, so you slap her again. You may make the hard power roll again, Lady Hypatia, if you'd like.
I make it.
You slap her so hard, Roxy Wilder, and you see a look on her face like that did it, because the next moment, Lady Hypatia, you have awakened in the dingy rooms of the local deacon in Viney Hill.
All right. I will shake Roxy Wilder awake.
Soon in the barn, Roxy Wilder looks over at you in the dream world, Colonel Flash, and goes, I wonder if that would, and then she disappears because she's being shook and awake.
All right.
Meanwhile, Flash snores peacefully.
Anybody want to wake me up, or do I have to do it myself as per usual? And
they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it.
They really are. They're like, do we want this tool bag?
Okay, I'll wake him up.
He was pretty good with a gun. Flash, you are awakened just as a bunch of villagers in like weird medieval garb with like torches and pitchforks like blast in through the side of the apothecary shop. Suddenly you awaken in the hayloft in Viney Hill. And so now I must ask, is this the plan to go all the way back to Bedlam to get Norman Densmore, or are you heading on to Lydney Park, which is very close? I'm not going to tell you the solution to the scenario. There are, in fact, several, but there's also a lot of ways to fail the scenario and die or go mad. So let me know what you'd like to do.
Now, why do we think we need him? We turning him into a sugar cube.
They said
he is, yeah.
The thing, the satyr was scared of us returning him to his throne. And I think that his throne is the ruins on my mother's brother's wife's family home.
That's right. You know, it seems like he might not be such a bad guy. If he was the friend of Middlemass to begin with, I think we got this all wrong.
What do we...
Also, who's to say a sugar cube can't sit on a throne, because we've had worse.
He just thinks he's a sugar cube. He's actually a dude.
King George at the beginning of the century, you know?
Yeah,
I think he thought he was a sugar cube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a little worried that if we fall asleep a couple more times between then and now, like we're going to end up in Bedlam.
as
what if
well.
we send word? Or perhaps we split the party.
We never split the party.
I hate to split the party.
Let's.
We should have got him, that sugar cube man.
Well, we don't know what we need to do. We're this close. Maybe we should just go investigate Lindley Park. And if any of us make it out alive, we can scream about how Norman Densmore needs to go there while they take us to the insane asylum.
Okay.
Excellent plan, because we'll see him when we get to the insane asylum.
Right. Then what I will do, if it's okay, is cut to the chase a little bit so we have time to cover this whole climax. And what I will say is that you are meeting with William Hiley Bathurst, Lady Hypatia, the man who owns the land. While his father and his father's father were quite prominent in government, he has taken a humbler path. And is a simple deacon of the church. And you can see that he is a very pious man, a very performatively pious man. And he says, tell me again why you wish to look over the grounds, Lady Mob.
Okay. He knows that it's Lady Bartlett or Lady Montague, depending on whether we're in England or Scotland. And my fucking husband does not have a title. So, like, I ain't Lady Mob shit. First of all, how many...
forgive me. I am a man of God. I am not like my father and his father before him. I do not put as much emphasis on title. Are we not all naked before our Lord and Savior?
How many fingers does he have? Does he have all of his fingers?
When the final trumpet calls, he has all of his fingers.
All right. Our dear friend here, Miss Wilder from the United States of America, has been doing some drawings and investigation of old ruins at stately homes, and wants to write art.
No. No one is looking about the detritus, the rocks on the land. No, that's not done.
I'm sorry. Did I say ruins? I meant to say ruises, like, by which I meant roses or generally flowers or things from nature. She is a Wild West trick shooting
culturalist.
Yes.
One of you must now make a fast talk roll.
Can I do charm? Can I please do charm?
You may not, Colonel, although that seems a very reasonable path. These two have concocted an elaborate lie and must now justify it.
I wish to be part of the lie.
You certainly may, and you may use fast talk for them if you'd like.
Be
one of you needs to make a fast talk.
Pronouncing every syllable of horticulturalist over and over if repeatedly called on. So
I did fast talk, and I made the not critical, but hard. I got a 14 out of 20.
I am merely a prop in Lady Hypatia's story.
Colonel, you may check your fast talk. And you guys are kind of getting caught up in your lie when the Colonel kind of steps in and is like, goes into this long, like, diatribe about, like,
the actual names of roses, what we're looking for. We're looking for different kinds of plants, and use the Latin terms, because he's actually quite good at Latin and language. And so he's like, we were told that there were certain kinds of wild roses that were being grown just on this property, real close to Wales. It's such a beautiful language, Welsh. And then I break into Welsh.
That's lovely then. The rose gardens are there to be enjoyed. Yes, they are proof of our Lord's imperial might over all creation, aren't they? The flower is undeniable proof of his existence. Just be sure that you don't go into the wood while you're here. No?
We certainly shan't.
Why is that? We can't go in the wood?
No need to ask.
It's off limits to visitors. Please confine yourself to the gardens. In fact, I'll send my groundskeeper with you. He can show you around. Yes, Mr. Earls, And then a gentleman comes eventually at the pulling of the bell, and you're looking at, a groundskeeper with a big thick mustache, a man with the stature of one of the lower classes. Posture is what I meant to say.
Okay, so does Lady Hypatia have a way to? Do you have any sort of magic that can remove disguises or anything? Can we tell if this is a bad guy? How would we spot hidden?
You all want to look at the rose garden? Well, I can take you down there.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess we just follow him. I guess we'll just kill him if he's
You've gone from a fight with demons to a tour of a rose garden with a man with bad posture.
All right.
Not unreasonable, Colonel, for you to be jumping at everything. In fact, I'm going to role play this, Colonel. When the man comes in, you make some sort of roll to see if he's in fact a dream enemy.
He might be a dream enemy. We don't know.
You're rolling your sanity.
Okay, am I?
You've become quite paranoid. Yes, you have.
Yes,
Clearly you have.
Clearly I have. And boy, do I lose it.
Colonel, you only lose one sanity, but you grab the man by his coats and you're like, take off that foolish disguise.
I want to see your feet. Yeah,
show me your feet.
No need. And I slap the groundskeeper on the back so hard I make his posture straighten up. And I say, now, fella, you walk us through these gardens and show me, because I do love horticulture.
Well, Roxy, you may do this if you can make some sort of roll, because you were out of the woods, you were into the rose garden, about to look around when suddenly Flash lost it. So there's about to be a real social faux pas here, and everybody's going to get kicked out on their ass unless Roxy's move here gets along with the groundskeeper. And Roxy, what could you do to get along with the groundskeeper? Why, Roxy, you could roll natural world. A groundskeeper and you have something in common. Let's see if you can make him see that.
Thank you so much for pointing that out, because otherwise Roxy has no interpersonal skills. But she loves the natural world, and so she points to a flower and identifies. No, I turn him the other way because I don't know the name of that flower, and I am going to risk it all to do this. I really want to impress him with my knowledge.
All right.
Of the natural world. So I'm pushing. And that's another failure.
Okay, so what we have established is if you push and you fail, something very bad happens. So I'm going to now cut to Colonel Flash Harrison lied his way onto the grounds, no problem. But when this groundskeeper came in, he was like, "Show me your feet!" Like he went nuts. Roxy Wilder tried to smooth it over with a little horticultural talk, but she knows more about shooting and bounties than she knows about roses. And then we cut to a scene where you hear William Hiley Bathurst go, "Release the hounds." You all are running across the grounds, and they are releasing dogs on you because they've decided that you are more of these strange types that are trying to look at the ruins on their land.
Are we running towards the ruins?
Run for the woods.
You may run towards the ruins. I've just kind of cut the middle scenes where everybody decides to go through certain doors and stand in certain places and run. They have kicked you out and they are releasing dogs on you. You can hear the dogs barking. You may go wherever you'd like. What would you like to do? And I'm going to start with someone I haven't heard from in a moment, Lady Hypatia.
First of all, I want you guys to know that I had a really fun scene planned out where I was going to pretend to faint from the beauty of the roses and demand that he get me Spirit of Hartshorn. But I am just going to run towards the woods.
Very good. And what about Roxy Wilder?
I do. I follow the lady.
Very good. And what about Colonel Flash Harrison?
I'm going to draw my saber because Flashy doesn't have any problem hacking dogs to death. It isn't okay. It isn't okay. Yeah.
Okay. Only Flash, the piece of S that he is, would draw a sword on innocent hounds. But perhaps he is going to give you time.
But he's going to run with those scissors too. He's
running with them.
Yeah, he's running with those scissors into the woods.
Great. Then I would like everybody to make a dexterity roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Fail. Oh my God, I don't want to trip and eat a sword.
I made it.
Did not.
And Roxy, you made it as well?
Very much.
Okay, so Flash, it's good that you drew that sword because the dogs are upon you. There are currently 6 of them, and they are going roof, roof, roof. They're like those big kind of hunting hounds, and they're all around you. And you could see the groundskeeper, way up the slope, kind of like whistling at them. Here's what I'm gonna narrate 2 things. We're not, instead of doing a whole combat versus dogs, we're gonna do this
because I was gonna use the hilt of the sword to knock him out.
Oh, okay. So we'll do kind of a 1-2 done, which means I'm gonna let you roll. The dogs are gonna roll. We're gonna see who gets the better or worse end of it. Meanwhile, though, I'm gonna narrate. The second thing I'm gonna narrate is that Roxy and Lady Hipatia get into these tangled wood, and you begin kind of clambering down these big architectures of roots that kind of go into this dark copse where there's little pools of water. You can tell that things are very stagnant down here, that none of it gets touched, none of it gets messed with, right? It's like where everything has been allowed to overgrown, whereas the rest of the house's grounds are immaculately kept. This place is just left to kind of grow. And you are clambering down through this area, and you may roll archaeology if you have any of that, or natural world, or simply a spot hidden. I'm going to go back to Flash, though. You tell me what you got on those rolls, Lady Hypatia and Roxy, in a moment. Flash, how'd you do on your attack? And by the way, to knock out some dogs, boy, it's got to be good. You need to get a hard success. How'd you do?
Okay, on the fail.
Okay,
big fail on the just sort of essentially I'm just waving my sword at them, trying to hit a dog and not making it.
Oh my God, Flash! It's almost sort of
Am I
appropriate.
about to be torn apart by dogs?
It's almost sort of appropriate for Flash because 3 of the 6 hounds just succeeded at their rolls, and they are doing to you. Oh my God, Flash, 10 damage altogether. Now, Flash, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna make a Constitution roll.
Yeah.
If you fail it, if you roll above your Constitution, Flash is he's being dragged by dogs back to the house. If you succeed, Flash he got away from them, but he's really ripped up by dogs.
Made it. Did not crit it. I got 22. But I made 25 as hard. So I got a 22.
You're doing great, Flash. You didn't go unconscious. Just like in the first session, you're kind of walking wounded. You come down into the woods really, I mean, we're talking seat of your pants ripped out, heart boxers showing. Lady Hypatia and Roxy Wilder, how did you do?
I failed a natural world. Can I try a biology?
You may try a biology. And how did you do, Roxy Wilder?
Here's the thing. Roxy is used to wide open fields and horses and perhaps some rain. But these whatever sort of tangles they got down here in England, I ain't never seen nothing like it. And I rolled a 100.
A 100. Oh my God. Okay, so this may negate the necessity for your biology roll, Lady Hypatia, but how did you do on it?
I made it hard.
Okay, so Lady Hypatia, you just kind of noticed that that the mosses, how they're growing, leads you to believe that some of this is an old structure. It's not just stones, right? It's because mosses grow on certain stones better than others. They shouldn't be growing on some of the stones that are native around here, and so there looks like there have been blocks moved, but they've been so eroded by time that and covered in moss, as I said, that they're hard to see. But now, Lady Hypatia, you just noticed that there are rocks here that used to be old stones. When Roxy Wilder, running full speed, falls into a hole. That's what happens when you roll a 100, Roxy. Let's see how you do. You fall. Let's see how many feet this is. Yeah, you fall like 20 feet down, and you take. You lucky son of a gun! You take 2 damage.
Roxy Wilder always lands on her fate.
So Flash and Lady Hypatia. Flash, I think you probably had to like kill a couple dogs to get away, but you see like Roxy running through the clambering over all these roots and stuff, and suddenly she goes down out of sight.
Quick question.
I have a rope.
Out of game.
Yeah.
Since we slept twice, can we potentially heal HP from last session?
That is a really, really great question. And my answer would be last session was in a dream world, so you may heal all HP from last session.
Right, I'm still down to 1.
You're still down to 1 because you just got hurt. But if you had any HP left from the last session we played, Roxy, that was all healed at the beginning of today's session. So you were only losing those 2 HP, I believe, from your 20-foot fall. Only lost you 2 HP. I'm so proud of you. Okay.
I'll hold my gun for balance when I fall. It's almost like some sort of mythical being that flies around with an umbrella.
Ooh, may I narrate this just a little bit? I think that you, when you fell, your gun did catch on the hole. So you were kind of swinging there. So you kind of then you slowly decided to land on your own, And that's so your feet hurt a little bit, maybe your knees, but you are down in a completely dark space. You will need some sort of light to see into it.
I ain't got nothing like that.
No flashlight?
After I ask, I'm going to call to Roxy to see if she's okay. And after that, I would like to try to first aid the Colonel.
Very good. Good idea. You first aid the Colonel. Go ahead and make that roll.
I do not make it. I'm not in trade. I'm not I don't have a skill.
Also,
right. I try to reassure Lady Hypatia. I appreciate the effort. I have a first aid kit in my bag if you want to take a gander at that. See if there might even be some cocaine in there.
Roxy, I can tell you that now that you're moving around down there in the pitch blackness, that you're kicking something around, and it doesn't sound like just rocks. Like something is touching your feet. And it feels like inanimate somethings, like a lot of little ones.
Okay, well, I have an idea of how to get some light, but before I do that, I will bend down and pick up this item and hold it up as high as I can.
Okay, yeah. So Roxy's trying to hold something up to you guys. Does anybody have any kind of a light source or anything?
I do not. I just have my headdress for some reason jammed into this.
Okay, I'm going to set down this thing and I'm going to reach into deep in my skirts pocket where there's an item I've been deeply fascinated with. And when I leave my apartments each morning, I pack my guns and I slide into my skirts pockets this lens, lilac in hue with the dinner plate size and engraved.
Ooh, Roxy, very, very
Perhaps
smart.
I can take it and re-triangulate a slim source of light.
In fact, Roxy, what happens is as you pull it up to your face, you must give me a power roll.
Rolling digitally this time. We got it.
Okay, Roxy.
That's exactly a hard success.
You activate the lens, which allows you to see into the invisible world. We established that in an earlier episode of the Neptune Society, although not with Becca's current character. And so it ignites, and you spend, let's see here. It ignites with like kind of a glowing purple light. You spend 2 magic points, and now you are looking, and the floor is covered in these kind of like little like kind of metal scrolls, and they are kind of like glowing with like faint power, Roxy. Like they're laying all over the ground, these like little curled up little metal scrolls, like covering the ground. But then beyond that, Roxy, you see a man sitting on a throne. It is Norman Densmore with a long, flowing gray beard, and there are things, aquatic things, amphibious things, like curling up through the beard. His eyes look incredibly mad, and when he moves, like mist moves off of him. And because you're seeing this in pitch blackness, holding your strange lens, I am going to ask for a sanity roll. Because you pull the lens down, it's not there, and you pull it up and you see him.
Not good.
I'm never using real dice again. We got it.
Okay, great. You lose nothing. You lose. Yes, exactly. That is what you see. His eyes are glowing red like that. And he's moving. He's like standing, and his robes keep unraveling. They keep unfolding as he stands. And soon he stands above you. You can see that he's like hunching to be in this subterranean space. And he must be 13 or 14 feet tall. And now, yes.
So what did we learn about curse tablets?
Lady Hypatia, I guess you'll have to make a history roll, won't you?
All right.
Can I make a roll to use my own first aid kit?
You certainly may.
Can I push? Can I push my history? Can I push my history roll?
Tell me how you're pushing it.
All right. I'm freeing myself. So I tried to think about like, God, what were they saying? And that was like very direct, but now I'm just trying to free myself and almost imagine myself having a daydream of being in a library, and trying to use these like lucid dreaming skills I have to access my own brain, and to go over and to take out a book that says curse tablets and open it up and just see what presents itself to me there.
Wow, that's so insane. Here's what I'm going to let you do. You can either roll history again, or you can roll library use again. But because the dream world is so close, when you are this close to this entity, that this is a great strategy. But it is a push. So if you fail this time, something terrible is going to happen, Lady Hypatia.
All right. My library use is
Better.
Yes. All right. 10 against 40.
Okay, so here's what happens. Roxy, you make some sort of noise. You let them know there's someone down here or something like that. And Lady Hypatia, yeah, or maybe you told her about the little tablets, the little curse tablets or whatever.
Actually, what I was going to do was just unceremoniously bend down, just start chucking each of them out of the hole. And I can't see down here.
Yes, and so you're like, I have to concentrate. I have to dream. And so, Lady Hypatia, you visualize yourself in a library. You visualize yourself pulling down like an old tome written in Latin about like, the Greco-Britons or the Celtic Roman, like their customs and their artifacts. And what you remember / find is that in these temples, they would write little curses against people, or sometimes prayers or wishes onto these little tablets. They would inscribe them in lead on these tablets, and they would roll them up and they would throw them into a sacred room of the temple. And then the god would supposedly answer that prayer or enact that curse. With your 10 roll, Lady Hypatia, I'm going to give you yet another idea, which is that you think that it's possible that your father perhaps summoned this god by doing that, by saying, bring me a teacher, or I summon thee, or something like that onto a tablet. But now we have to deal with the fact that he's here. And so I would like to know what our friend Roxy Wilder is going to do, what our friend Flash Harrison is going to do, and then what our friend Lady Hypatia is going to do. So Roxy, you're looking at this man. He seems to be standing 13 feet tall. The place is kind of shaking, just very, very dimly. It's like vibrating. Little bits of sand and dust are falling down on you. Roxy, what would you like to do?
So it feels like he's down in this hole.
Yes, he's kind of in this room that's been uncovered that you've kind of fallen into.
All right. So I want to tell my friends to come down here and join me. Find a nice, safe way. Maybe lower yourself on a branch. What do I want to do? There is two things Roxy knows how to do in this world, and they are ride and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess shooting's not going to do much good. Perhaps I could use my skill in the natural world to call upon the powers of nature and bring some sort of rain. And maybe, just maybe, that's something he's more susceptible to, because something tells me he can't be shot the same way a goat man in my dreams can be.
Well, that is a truly insane action, Roxy Wilder, but I've done it for everybody else, and I told you that this close to this entity, the dream world, is close. Even though you're in the real world, I'm going to allow you to have a 10% dreaming. Your power is 50, so you have a 10% dreaming. And so if you'd like to kind of try to dream something into being here at this distance from him, you can try it. Roll 10% or lower to do that. And you have called for your friends, of course.
I think real hard about the rain. It is completely dry here.
Yes, it is dry. I thought it might be. And so now he is kind of reaching down toward you, Roxy, and his hand gets larger as it approaches you. And now we must go to Colonel Flash Harrison. You've heard a cry for help from below. What would you like to do?
I would like to tie my rope to something and crawl down there, because I guess we got to end this. Literally, I'm just like, I could run. This seems like a really good thing, except for I can't. There's no way through this but to go through it, because I will not get away. The dogs will finish me off. So I tie my rope to some of the tangle, make sure it's secure. Though I do want to ask Lady Hypatia if she's got an idea. Can I ask that?
Of course you may.
Lady Hypatia has an idea.
Thank God.
There's no way it crossed my mind to bring a couple of pieces of like lead foil with us. Was there? I mean, that's a big grasp, but I have an idea to work with things that I know we have with us to achieve the same effect. So should I just do that?
Lady Hypatia, Scout's honor, you can roll your intelligence, but you must give me a extreme roll. So for you, that's a 15.
I want to pitch my other idea first. It's this.
Well, let me deal with Colonel Harrison, and then we'll get to your other idea. So Colonel Harrison, you're like, you got an idea here, Lady Hypatia, and then you start crawling down your rope that you've tied. You've secured it well and tightly. You crawl down it, and you see that Roxy is holding this strange lens, and she's cowering on the floor from nothing. There's just blackness beyond her.
But I know that the lens is what it is, and I think, I wonder if my headdress would help as I continue to climb down.
Yes, and I can also tell you that there is a palpable feeling of someone standing in that room, which seems impossible. How long has this hole been down here? Who would be down there? But the colonel has a feeling someone is standing in the other corner. And yes, Lady Hypatia, what is your other idea?
Okay, I'm going to pull out my notebook. I'm going to pull out my face powder full of lead. And I'm going to brush as much face powder on the page that I can. And then I'm going to put my finger in my rouge and write, "Dearest Nodens, ye of rain and hounds, Do not harm me, Lady Hypatia, Montague, Bartlett Mob, Colonel Flash Harrison of Her Majesty's Army, and Roxy Wilder, comma, American. And then fold it 3 ways, put it in my bosom, and start climbing down.
Very good. Okay, so Lady Hypatia and Colonel Flash are almost to the bottom, and then I will say that a hand. He's going to do something this round, of course. A hand grips you, Roxy Wilder. You feel the fingers almost kind of like enter your body, like through your your shoulders and your head, and suddenly all of you can see this. Roxy Wilder is like lifted off the ground, and it looks like she's just like levitating, and she's freezing cold, like a rime and frost are breaking out on her skin. And Roxy, only you hear this. You hear the voice of the hoary old god say, "I am fulfilling my pacts. I am teaching you, member of the Neptune Society. Am I not your teacher?" And Roxy, you, let's see. Oh, sorry, I'll roll another one. Here we go. Roxy, you take 3 damage just from like freezing, as it feels like a cold rain is moving through your bones. And now, Colonel Flash Harrison, what would you like to do? Oh no, Roxy, you can do something, but it has to be within the confines of being sort of trapped. So, was there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick him in the nads. God, he may be, but not nads he must have.
Okay, go for it. I kick that god in the nads. Something you'll see on every adventure of the Neptune Society. Guarantee.
This feels very related to hitting.
Our guarantee.
God nads. Nice one night, cat. Not a butt.
Okay. He's squeezing tighter, and I'm still thrashing and fighting. My first kick, nowhere near the nads. They're not where I thought they were. This guy is much smaller. I just go for his rock hard ass.
Taller.
But because he's 13 feet tall, I have to barely kick it off really low. And so I'm going to push the roll. No, it's combat. I can't. I fail.
Can't. You fail, unfortunately. And what I'm going to say is, like, now you guys are watching Roxy Wilder disappear into the blackness. She was floating, and now like parts of her seem to be like kind of just fading away. Perhaps she's being sucked into the dream realm. Roxy, from your point of view, that flowing beard is starting to cover you like tendrils. The flowing like rags and robes that surround him are kind of engulfing you, and you do feel like you're sinking or drowning in like a cold, dark sea. And now it is Colonel Flash Harrison's turn.
Am I on the ground? Can I limp to her and stab the thing that I think isn't her?
You may, of course, you may try to stab in that general direction. Yes.
What does that mean? I don't think it means anything good.
Did you get 0, 0, 0, 0?
I sure did. Did.
That means a critical fail. And so I'm going to narrate what happens to you. Colonel, in one of your bravest moments.
Which, of course, that's to be 0 for 0. One of my bravest moments. Go.
You carried yourself admirably, Colonel, but you are currently approaching just a kind of a dark corner of the room, and you're attacking it with your saber. Something grabs your saber and sucks it in and sucks half of your arm in, and freezing cold hits your arm to the tune of... Oh, you take 6 more damage, Colonel.
You at -4.
And you see part of the Colonel's arm disappear, Lady Hypatia. So Roxy's floating in the air. Part of her torso has dissolved. Colonel Flash's arm is gone, and they're being sucked into that darkness. Lady Hypatia, it is your turn. It is your moment of truth. What do you do?
So I thought that taking my prayer scroll through the circle would make it impact him. I'm going to toss it onto the other prayer scrolls in hopes that that does something.
The second that Lady Hypatia pulls the prayer scroll out, covered in lead, and tosses it onto the floor of the temple, there's a whisper that breaks out across the floor. All of the scrolls sort of, get a little brighter. That faint glow suddenly flashes up, and Lady Hypatia, even you for a moment, see Nodens, hoary Nodens with his flowing beard and flowing robes, holding both of your friends and pulling them through into another world. Like that flash of light exposes him, and his eyes meet yours, Lady Hypatia, and you can see that you have his number. At least this night, you have commanded a god. He drops Roxy, and he drops Colonel Harrison, and he fades. He fades back into the darkness, and a million whispers follow him back into that dark corner, and he gets dimmer and dimmer, and you see flapping black things with long, pointed tails crawling into a hole in the wall with him, dark shadow upon shadow, until finally it is all quiet and still, and at your feet, in the very, very faint light from the scrolls that are still just barely glowing, you can see Roxy Wilder and Colonel Harrison laying there.
I would like to attend to the Colonel, who I believe is close to death. I'm going to try another first aid.
Okay.
26 on 30.
Which means that Roxy Wilder, that's who you were healing?
No.
Oh, Colonel. That means the Colonel, you're at 1 HP. I'm going to say that Lady Hypatia got you all the way back to conscious again. And the Colonel, you get the line that is said right before we cut straight to the epilogue.
I'm sure I was amazing.
Cut to you're all having tea with Vernon Nesbitt some weeks later, and he's like, and I understand that you went on a riding trip to Gloucestershire. How was that, Lady Hypatia? Yes.
My third cousin, once removed, has fallen so low as to be a deacon, and he has some questionable roses.
It's too bad. I mean, out in the country, I tend to think that the people degenerate into a lower state. Wouldn't you agree, Colonel?
For sure. It's I think it's been I would of course defer to Lady Hypatia, and then I go look for a drink.
Why
Yeah,
is he?
It has nothing to do with getting fresh air. In fact, I would argue the contrary. And I go on to argue the merits of country life.
I almost forgot. I have something for you all. And he gives you, he doesn't give it to you, Lady Hypatia. He has it for Roxy Wilder and for Colonel Flash. Their official trident pin. And their official, yes, and their official scroll that says that they are hereby elected as a member of the Neptune Society. And he says, proud to have you all aboard. Ahoy!
Well, being a part of some sort of order is always been a life dream that I would never admit because, the shooting clubs, they said no women allowed. And so... well, this means more to me than I care to say. And I reach over and grab Flash's flask and take a swig to hide my tears.
Vernon Nesbitt says, well, you need not worry about that sort of prejudice here, Miss Wilder. Yes, the Neptune Society was founded by a libertine, Lord Bartlett, Lady Hypatia's own father, and he was a man who always practiced, despite his reputation, very good judgment. Wouldn't you say, Lady Hypatia?
No, I would say he made a series of terrible choices that continue to fascinate me. But his constant need to spread his seed almost anywhere but my mother's womb, not one of my favorite things.
Woo.
And that is where we will end this scenario for tonight. Thank you. Yes.
Yay! Thank you for saving me.
That was incredible. Writing the makeup, it was so good. What a great solution.
That's an awesome.
I should have commanded him to do something better, though.
I didn't know what you were going to do. I didn't know if you were going to scratch out one of the ones that were already there, but the lead in the powder is genius. Guy Branum, that's the kind of creativity you got to bring. And of course, Jackie and Becca, you were incredible as well.
Kick him in the head.
Yes,
quite clever, but it's effective.
Yes.
I'm sure that Flashman will. That Flashy's going to be getting a medal from the Queen for this, just because the way he'll tell the story. He stabbed the thing and it dissipated.
Yes, of course. If it can ever be revealed to the public without causing a horrible stir. I've loved having these three. I want these characters back, of course. And maybe next time we can give Flashy and Roxy a couple more moving targets, that lay down and be quiet when you put bullets in them. But thank you guys again. That's Jackie Kashian. Listen to her albums, see her comedy, follow her on all the socials. Becca Scott, you know her, you love her. And Guy Branum, get his book, My Life as a Goddess. I love them all. I'm going to say goodbye and good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Society members. Yes, the meeting is adjourned. Okay, guys, just a couple quick final notes about things that are happening at Stream of Blood, but I hope you enjoyed that storyline. I will tell you that the Neptune Society will take a short break, and then we will be back, and we will be playing through the scenarios that you, the subscribers, voted on. Yes, the subscribers voted to go on the hunt for Green October, a search for a dangerous sea beast destroying Her Majesty's ships at sea. And they also voted to go on a journey to the center of the earth. So those adventures are immediately upcoming. In addition to that, I'm going to try to do a couple one-shots. Lady Hipatia has suggested that perhaps she could throw a shooting party for the Neptune Society. I think that might be the first of our one-shots if we can get that scheduled. A shooting party to, of course, raise money for the new headquarters. So I hope you're enjoying the saga. We are divvying out here over time. I really, really love this game. And so tune back in. We'll have the schedule up soon, letting you know when the next Neptune Society adventure is going to happen. Not tomorrow, but Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. Ashley Bursch, Ross Bryant, Abubakar Salim, and the World of Darkness we are in the darkest timeline of the World of Darkness. The Second Inquisition has taken over Pittsburgh. Bad things are happening all around. I hope you will tune in and check out what happens next. It is a even worse 2020 than the one we've already lived through. And we ask you next, what is Bloodier Than Heroes? Why it can only be the latest installment of our ever-expanding shared Blades in the Dark universe. We've done it with the Glass Cannon. We've done it with Dungeons and Daddies. This Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Stream of Blood will be crossing over with the crew from Better Than Heroes for more criminal capers in the darkened city of Duskfall. We're calling it Bloodier Than Heroes. Guys, I've got to tell you, the crew that they came up with is so utterly unique and very different in fun ways from the Tin Whistles that I'm really excited to play that game. So next Saturday at 6 p.m., tune in for that. I want to mention that Cyberpunk Red, that's happening, not this coming Tuesday, because of course that's when we're doing Vampire, but the Tuesday following at 7 p.m. Cyberpunk Red. It's just a 2-part series starring Mike Drucker, Kelly Nugent, and Adam Garcia, and we are previewing the new game that I don't think is totally out yet, or it just came out like yesterday or something like that. Cyberpunk Red. We are Chumbas and deckheads. We are jacking into the Matrix, and it sounds dirty every time I say that. But Tuesday after this coming. We are a podcast now, and we would really love for you to listen to the podcast. It is twice weekly. We're posting episodes of the Vampires of Pittsburgh, and we're posting up to episodes of the Neptune Society. Please find it on the podcatcher of your choice. Subscribe and leave a 5-star review. We are on Twitch. We are on Twitter, Instagram. We are on Facebook. There's a Facebook group there. And we are on Discord. That's the best place to talk to me. I look at Discord every day. It's Stream of Blood's server of blood. So please join us on there where you can chat, make suggestions, requests for dream games. And finally, I have to get off of here. I have dinner waiting for me. But we have artwork by Will Pottorff. He did those incredible illustrations you saw tonight. Ross Bryant also did some of our artwork. Ross Bryant can be found at RossBB on Instagram. And Will Pottorff is Pottorff, willpottorff.com, or Instagram is a good place to find him. Our music is by Warbird, soundcloud.com/Warbird. I want to thank Brian Baldinger. I want to thank Clinton Trucks. They book these incredible guests. They help organize and push this stream forward in all kinds of ways. If you have suggestions we could improve that Discord, join that Discord. That's the place to let us know. We are listening to your suggestions and ideas, and we are going to take them where we can, where and when we can. I want to thank Megan Arch, who is our social media manager, who gets those messages out, letting you know at the last minute that we are having to change our Vampires game to a different day. Apologies for that, but I think it's worth it to have these 3 incredible players. I want all 3 of them there when we play. So Megan Arch, thank you for getting those messages out to everybody and letting us know what's happening. And all of you, thank you for rolling with the punches with us. Our Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross, and our opening animation was by Andrew Orvidal. It's been great playing another game of Call of Cthulhu with you guys. Until next time, Shub Nuguraf, Cthulhu Fatagan.